Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of Python series. In this video tutorial, we will be covering several essential concepts that every Python developer should master. We'll start with tuples and dictionaries, then we will explore list operations, function creation with arguments, and how to implement control flow within the functions. These topics are essential for any Python programmer. So without any further ado, let's get started.
There is a very short exercise on tuple because whatever you did in list is also applicable in tuple. The only thing that is important in tuple is it is immutable. When we say immutable, that means it cannot be changed after creation. Okay. Now, just to give an example, suppose, uh, just to keep it short, suppose there is a unique ID that is getting generated, okay, for each and every customer, and you do not want that unique id to be you can say changed. Okay, so what you can do, whatever unique id that is getting created, if you store it in tuple, you can never change it after creation. Okay, again, it is an ordered thing. That means you can get it with the help of indexes. It supports duplication, but it does not support mutability. Okay, it is immutable in nature. That's the one thing. Now, just to show you, when I say this, a very short thing for us to go ahead and look into. When I'm saying tuples, let me just show this. This is being indicated by round braces. Let me just, a very simple thing. You can try everything. Okay, this is it. Now, if you try to go ahead and update it, there is no method or command to go ahead and update. If you want to get the length, you can get the length. You can print it. You can, what you can say, you can get the order. Okay, but you cannot go ahead and change the value after creation. Okay, so just to keep it simple. Now comes a very interesting type, which is dictionary, and this will give you more insight. How is it really applicable for the real world example? So the point is, suppose you have some data and you want to store it with the help of a key, so that you can call it with the help of a key. Just to give an example, I have defined something called as address as a variable, wherein I'm storing multiple data points together. Now, when I'm storing multiple data points together, the first thing is, here you can see I've written street, then I have written city, then I have written state, and then I have written country. Now, if you want to keep it in a single line, you can keep it. But the point is, if you want to have it over different lines, then you can make use of backslash also. Okay, that is possible. So that this is more like a command for going ahead and containing the same information over different lines. If you want, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, now here it is being indicated by curly braces. So first I'm defining the list. Once you have defined the list, you can read the list. This is what is there in the list. Can you see? Now, if you want to call any of the element from the list, you cannot call it by index. You will go ahead and call it by the key. Okay, so when you call it by a key, you will be able to see that you have got the key. Okay, it is again can be updated. That means it is mutable. So if you can see, I want to update it from 180 Adam Street to 181, and you will be able to see the value change from 180 to 181 Adam Street. That means it is mutable. Apart from that, if you want to add a value, suppose the zip code was not being mentioned, I want to add, I can add, and now if you see, I will be able to see the zip value also. If I want to delete something, a key value pair, I just need to specify the key and I can delete also. Now, if you see, I am able to delete. If you want to get to the length of this, you can see that it is key. Though you can see that it is 8, but it is not 8, it is key value pair. So actually it is nothing but 4. Okay. Now, if you want to convert the dictionary into string, so you are getting dictionary, you can directly go ahead and use string in front of the dictionary, and it will automatically go ahead and convert it with the inverted code. Okay, this is actually required a lot when you are going to go ahead and play with data serialization. If you want to serialize the data basically in machine learning. Okay, now similarly, suppose I want to get all the keys, I can get all the keys. Okay, if I want to get all the values, I can even go ahead and get all the values. Okay, so if I want to store the keys and values in the form of list, I can very well go ahead and do that also. Okay, just wanted to help you understand that we can make use of we can make use of something called as dictionary. Just to keep it simple, all these things will come into existence when we will go through the content which are basically part of our machine learning for Python work. When we say dictionary, what is dictionary? It stores the value in the form of key value pair. That means, see, many a times we are not able to understand what is the meaning of the value that is being stored. So in that case, if you store it with a key and if you try to retrieve it with a key, it can become more meaningful. It is again ordered. Okay. Apart from that, I told it uses curly braces. This is one of the most used format for JSON object notation of your data. So if you have your data, basically all the data in the form of chat, in the form of you can say applications, web application is being stored in JSON format. Okay, so if you want to go ahead and convert any data that you have in the JSON format, then you can make use of dictionary, wherein you can store the you can say basically all the values that are there in the dictionary are basically in the JSON format, because JSON also uses curly braces. Even your dictionary also uses curly braces and stores all the value within a single you can say key. It is has the capability to go ahead and store. Just to show you, we can even go ahead and do this. Okay, this is what I was able to go ahead and do. So what is dictionary? Again, it can be heterogeneous also. That means any key will always be string, but value can be string, it can be integer, it can be float, it can be boolean, it can be anything. Okay, so that is also possible. Again, the best part about this is it is can be accessed very fast, okay, quickly with the help of key, because key has the semantic capture with the help of a text based string. Okay, you can update, add or remove key, that should not be a problem. Okay, so just to give you a brief, so we started with Python. Okay, then we looked into standard. What do you mean by variables? We also looked into something called as keywords, and I also touched base upon keywords cannot be named as variable. So keywords cannot be named as variable. Then we looked into what are the basic mathematical operations. Okay, again, we will look into all these things in detail when we are going to explore libraries related to this, when we are going to do data manipulation. So we looked into basic mathematics of operations, or you can say we looked into operators like plus, okay, then subtraction, then multiplication, okay, all those things we were able to go ahead and do, multiplication and division and so on, okay, and remainder and everything. Then we looked into something called as what you say, variables, okay. And when we were going ahead and defining the data types, okay, okay, we understood that the data can be integer, it can be string, it can be float, okay, or it can be boolean. Then we looked into, if I want to store multiple data points together, okay, and for that we looked into something called as list. Then we looked something called as tuples, and then we also looked into something called as dictionaries. Okay, and the basic difference between this is this stores the column values without any key. This also stores the column value without any key, which can be indexed with the location. Okay, and then we also looked into a value that can be stored with the help of a key and can also be retrieved with the help of a key, is what we call dictionary. The different types of data structures that we have in Python is list, and then we have something called as tuples, and then we also have something called as dictionaries. Okay, so when we say list, what is a list and why do we require list? Just to give an example, if you see on the right hand side, we have defined one variable. You can give any name. Okay, like I have written my underscore list, and then I have written something in square parenthesis. So whenever we have something in square, it is automatically understood that it is a list. List is something that is without keys. Always remember. Okay, list is something that is without keys. That means there is no predefined, you can say, key value pair that gets associated with list. Just to give an example, if I say name is equal to Jalal, okay, age is equal to 34, and origin is equal to Asia. So when I write this, basically this value is associated to a key, okay, which is name. Similarly, when I say 34, it is automatically understood that this might be an age of an individual. Okay, if I'm pointing at individual. When I say he's 34, that means we are saying that he's 34-year age. Similarly, when we say Asia or Asian, we automatically understand that this is the origin or ethnicity of this individual, right? Now, the point is in the list, we do not have this aspect, okay? We do not have this aspect. We only go ahead and store the values. Okay, we do not create anything called as keys in the list. Okay, so here if you can see, we have 1 and then we have apple, and then we also have something called as 3.5. So here you can see it is a heterogeneous data set wherein we have different types of data set, like we have integer, we have double or float, and we also have something called as string. Okay, so this is how you define a list. Okay, and what is the advantage of having a list? Suppose you have a column on which you want to go ahead and do some iteration. Like if I want to find some mean, median, okay, of a value that is there in the column, so I can store it in the form of a list. Okay, and then I can go ahead and do the iteration over that column. Fine. Similarly, if I want to append something in the list, we can just make use of a method called as append, and then we can write the name of the, you can say, uh, basically the data that we want to insert. We can add an item into the list by making use of append. Is this much part clear, guys? Okay, now we'll look into this. One more important thing that we need to look into is, before we look into this, it would really be nice if we look into our lab. Okay, so the first thing that we want to go ahead and see is, the first thing is you'll declare the list by defining the list variable on the left hand side, and then you will initialize the list by making use of square braces, and then you can specify Jalal, Khan, and I have also written something called as Huzaifa. So let me run this, and if I see, this is what you can see, that I am able to get a list of value. Now similarly, if I wanted to add something called as 1, then something called as any other number that I wanted to add, okay, I could have gone ahead and added that also. Okay, so now if you can see, if I run this and if I show you here you can see I can also add, numbers, float, string, all together within a single list. Okay, now if I want to print an element within a list, so this kind of list, if you see, this is basically how many rows we have. We just have one row. Okay, so we just have one row. And how many columns do you have? We have column number 1, column number 2, column number 3, column number 4, and then finally we say column number 5. Okay, now just to show you, if I have only have one row, or if I start with row number 0, rather than saying it 1 or anything else, let me call it as row number 0. And this you can call it as column number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we have. Now the point is, whatever basically is a single element with respect to rows and column, you can say row is a single you can say significance, right? Whereas here you can see we have multiple columns. Now the point is, if you want to slice the element of a list, okay, you need to go ahead and call it with the help of column. Suppose if I'm interested to go ahead and slice column number 2, okay, then I am going to go ahead and specify which is the index. The index starts from 0, right? So if the index starts from 0, if I say 2, it will automatically go ahead and extract which column? It will extract the column which contains the value as Josefa. Is it okay? Now if I run this piece of line, if I run this piece of line here, you can see I'm able to extract Josefa. Now my question to all of you is, help me understand, if I want to extract 124.55, what should be the value? What should be the order? So what do we need to specify? 4. Okay, now this is where we were able to extract. Now similarly, if I want to extract from Huzaifa till 124.55, what should be the value? Huzaifa will start at index number 2, right? Okay, and then 2, if I say 2, 3, 4. So if I want to get the last value, I need to specify as 5. I hope you are aware about it. because the last digit is mutually exclusive, right? So if I want to get, just to keep it simple, if it is new for all of you, this is index number 0, this is index number 1, this is index number 2, 3, and 4. So if I want to extract, always remember the first digit in the list. Okay, so this is a way, colon is a way to start. Here we will specify the start index, and here we will specify the n minus 1, n plus 1 index, to be very frank. So if I want to extract Huzefa, I'll write 2 here, and for 124.55 I'll go till 5. Is it okay? Or 5 minus 1, what should be the value, everyone? Let us just put that and see. And if we run this, 2, so what did I say? It should be n minus 1, right? Now you will be able to see. Is it fine? First, let me just put it this way for all of you to understand. If I do not specify, it will extract everything from the list. Okay, so if I just put colon, here you can see Huzaifa Khan, sorry, Jalal Khan Huzaifa 124.55. If I do not, if I just specify the first index as 0, and if I run this, again you can see everything. So that means it is taking till last value. Is it fine? Now, if I specify 0 to 1, what will I get? Think about it. Last number is always exclusive. It is always n minus 1. So 1 minus 1 will be how much? 0. So if I write it this way, you can see that I have only got Jalal. Now, if I ask you if I want to get 0 and Jalal and Khan together, what should I write? 0 and 2. Because 2 minus 1, think about it, guys. This is 0, right? This is 1, and this is 2. So if I want to get up to Khan, I need to put the next digit, which is 2. Okay. Last number is exclusive. It is never counted. So you need to put n minus 1. N minus 1. Now, if I put minus 1, what I am putting here? Nothing here. And I am putting minus 1. See what will be the result? Can you see? When I say minus 1, it will automatically extract the last one. If I say minus 2, that means it will only go to Huzafa. If I say minus 3 at the last I am saying, then it will only go till Khan. Okay. If I say 1 at the last, then it will go till, if you can see, I hope you are able to see, I'll only get this value. So just to see, keep it simple, if I remove everything again, here you can see I have got all the values. If I want an index from start to end, I can specify that index. So suppose if I'm only interested to get Huzefa, I can directly specify the index value also. Okay. Like if I specify 0, 1, 2, okay, 2 stands for value at Huzefa. Now I'll get Huzefa. This is all fine. But if I am asking it this way, okay, then I need to specify from where to where. This is important. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So when I, just to keep it simple, when I say minus 1, try to understand it will go till the second last. Okay. But if I say 1, it will directly start from the first one. Okay. Is it okay? Understandable a little bit? If it is a little bit understood, that's okay. That's more than enough as of now. Now, let me just go through the next part. I'll just put it this way. Basic operations if I want to perform on list. Now, what are the basic operations that I want to perform? Suppose I want to add something in the list. So for adding an element into a list, I need to make use of append. And then if I do this way, here you can see my list will append another value. Okay. If I want to delete something, again, I can go ahead and do that. And suppose if I want to update the value, suppose I want to update the index at 1. So I can specify list name, use a parenthesis, square braces, sorry, and then put the index value. Suppose I want to replace Khan by France. So I can just go ahead and add this. And now if I run the list value, you will be able to see Jalal, France, and Huzaifa. Okay, that is also possible. Similarly, if I want to delete, the point is I need to use the del command and the name of the list, and I can go ahead and delete a element. If I want to delete whole, I can directly delete. So now if I delete, here you can see Huzefa will get deleted because it is at index 2. Okay. If I want to get length, how many elements are there in the list, I can just go ahead and do the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I run this here, you will be able to see that I have got the count. Okay. Similarly, if you do not like this way, if you want to put something like this, count of list, we can try this. Okay. So if you want, we can go ahead and try this out, but this will not work because just to keep it simple, we are looking for the length. Okay. Now here you will see that it is a typo error because this is not a print statement. So if you want to get it via the print statement, you can specify it outside via the print statement and it should be able to go ahead and work out. Okay, that means the length. Okay, so if I put it this way, print, suppose I want to specify that this is the length, then I can do it this way. And now you can see count of list is we are able to get. I hope that makes sense. Just keeping it simple because the main focus of this course is not Python. The main course focus is for us to get started with machine learning also. So whatever we are doing here, you will be able to see that we do have those things as a concept in the machine learning aspect we are going to go ahead and use. So now we have just looked into list. Okay. This is about appending something in the list, right? Okay, so if you want to append something in the list or if you want to update a list, you can go ahead and make use of the statements. Again, if I go up here, you can see I can delete a list. I can update an element by calling that element. And then similarly, I can even go ahead and append the list, means add element in the list. Possible. Similarly, if I want to concatenate two lists, it's okay. Heterogeneous list can also be concatenated. So if I want to concatenate two lists, like here you can see I've got list 2 and list 1. If I run this in and store it in a variable con list, you can give any name. I've just used a plus symbol. So if I run this, here you can see that we are also able to concatenate the list. Totally possible. So we can create a concatenation also. Similarly, if I want to sort the content, that is also possible. If I want to sort the content, I can make use of sort function. Now always remember, I think that is all okay. Okay. So for sorting, the first thing, yeah, that is what I wanted to highlight. For sorting, it is important that you should have all the instance either as string or as integer. Fine. Integer and decimal is okay, or you need to have string. But right now my sorting is not possible. Why my sorting is not possible? Because if I look into my list 1, what do I have in my list 1? I have a combination of string and integers. So now that's the reason I'm getting this error. So now let me just do one thing. Let me define a new list. Let me just say list 2 is equal to 1, 2, 3. Let us just run this. Now let me go to the next line. And now let me call this list here. Let me just scroll down a little bit, please. So now if I want to sort, I can just specify list 2 dot sort. If I run this, okay, and now if I execute the next command wherein I want to display the list, now if it is already sorted, it will sort. And if it is not sorted, now just look into this. Again, can you see it got sorted? 213 got sorted to 123. Okay, so if you have any negative decimal, everything you can put it together. Just to keep it simple, if I say 1.1, here if I say 1, and now let me just run this. Again, can you see it has got sorted? Okay, now what if I have got string? So suppose I have got a string as a. Apart from that, now just to show you, suppose I have got a list as one value is a. Let me just say apple. Okay, another value is also. So first of all, to append the list should be homogeneous in nature. That means the data type should be same. Then let me just put avocado. Let me just put banana. Now this is done. Run. Let me just run this. List 2. If I sort this, now what is basically going to happen? Just see the result. First, it will sort all the all the capital letters together. Then it will go ahead and sort all the small letters. This is the law. It is going to go ahead and follow. Simple. Okay. Always sorting happens with respect to ascending and with respect to capital and then with respect to what you can say with respect to small letters. Now, just to add, let me open the chat GPT for you. Okay. And let me just ask sort the list in descending. Okay. If I go ahead and say this, that means lower to higher. Okay, so if I want to sort the list in descending, again you can see we just need to specify a keyword. What is the keyword? Reverse is equal to true. Okay, so if you want, I can just copy this. Let us just see this aspect also. Okay, now I have got a list. I am not interested to use this print. I'll just directly use this sorted list to get the response, and we'll be able to see. I've got a list, and here I am going ahead and saying reverse is equal to true. If I run this, then it will go ahead and do the reverse. Is it okay? Now, there comes one more important aspect about list, which is called as multi-dimensional list. Now, what is multi-dimensional list? The best thing for us to go ahead and understand about this is when we say multi-dimensional, let me just go through multi-dimensional list. So what is a multi-dimensional list? Just to keep it simple, suppose I have got this kind of a value, okay, wherein I have got, suppose I have got name and I have got age. Okay, just give an example. Okay, and now I want to store this value. Okay, so basically when we say name, let me here just put this. Okay, and when I'm saying age, let me just put this. And now suppose I'm interested to go ahead and run this. So this is how it looks like. So if I, this is called as two-dimensional list. Now if I run this, here you can see this is how the same output I'm able to interpret it here. This is, and again it can be heterogeneous also. Okay, a part of list. Now if I want to extract, how does it basically function? I just told you this. So what basically happens is, if you have two-dimensional, it will be index 0 and 1. Here also you will have index depending upon how many columns you have. So here you can see 0, 1, 2. Now if I want to call any of the value, then the first index will be 0, 0. The second will be 0, 1. The third will be 0, 2. Then it will be 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 2. Now here, similarly, whatever we have told, that will be applicable. So the best thing is you need to look into this as 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, and then you will start with 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. So if I say 1, 0, it will automatically be able to extract 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 1, 0, it will be 1, 2, 3. If I would have put 1, 1, tell me what would have been the value? 4, 5, 6. Okay. Now this is slicing one element. Okay. This is just slicing one element. Now, what if you are interested to slice the whole value? You can even go ahead and do that. Just to give an example. Okay, so suppose first value is Jalal, second value is Khan, third value is Huzefa. Then I have 1, then I have 4, and suppose then I have 3. Okay, so we can even extract it. Suppose I'm only interested to extract this value. So for that, we can even go ahead and specify that value also. So suppose if I'm only interested to extract this, then we need to go ahead and define the information in that way. Now, how can we go ahead and define? So here you can see what is common amongst this. Row is changing, right? Okay, so we have two rows, and here we have how many columns? We have changing columns, which is 2 columns. So basically you go ahead and call it based on index of the column. So if you want to extract this value, you need to go ahead and specify the index as, the first index will be 1 and the second index like will be also equal to 1. So just to show you, if I have this value, okay, so if I want to slice something like a part of it, I can even go ahead and do that. Let me just copy this in front of you. Let us, I did specify here also. If you want to see, I was trying it out just to show you. Here you can see, basically, one second, this is more of ascending and descending. So suppose if I have got this, and now, one second, I hope I defined to delete somewhere. I think I deleted by mistake. Okay, so this is what I have. Now let me just do, suppose I want to slice column number. I can just specify it here. I want to slice column 1 and 2. Okay, that's it. So if I'm interested to slice column number 1 and 2, you can just see that what are we interested to go ahead and do. This is the value. I just need to specify, okay, like a row, which row I want to slice. I can specify that. So everything in the row, but I just want the column number. You can say column number 1 and 2. So here we are specifying up to column number 2. Okay, for the row which are part of this 2D list. Okay, so here we are just running a for loop. So I am saying I basically this is not a row. You can also specify it as I. We are saying index up to 2. Okay, for all index which are part of this 2D list. So if I copy this, come up here. Let me. This is all done. Let me just put it here and explain you in this way. So now I have this. Okay, and now if I run this part, okay, here you can see I'm able to slice how many columns? I'm able to slice up to second row. Similarly, if I want to slice everything, I can specify this way. If I want to slice column number 1 and 2. So what will be the start? 1, 2. Till when will we go? Column number 1 and 2, if I want to slice, shall I specify 3 or shall I specify 2? We'll just put 2 in front of you. Okay, so what I have done, I'll again repeat what I'm interested to do. So I'll just put it this way in front of you. I have got Jalal, then I have got Khan, and then I have got Hus, then I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, and I am interested to extract this one. Okay, I want to extract this. So this is for sure, this is, we know that we are at row, but in the row we are interested to go ahead and extract. So we can, I told we can specify I. This is not row, you can even specify it as I index. Okay, so we are asking which index of a column we want. So this is index number 0, this is index number 1, and this is index number 2. So you told we need to go from 1 to 2. So if I write this 1 to 2, okay, and if I run this, can you see? Am I getting everything or am I only getting 1? So it should be 1 and 3. And now if I run this, can you see? I hope that makes sense. Guys, this is more of operation. When you will go through the code and when you will use all these things in reality, then it will make much more sense. Okay, just keeping it simple, short for you to go ahead and practice and try it out. So I just made a change here. I told row is just a name variable. Even if you put I here, it will still do the same thing. Let me just put 1 to 4. I do not have any fourth value. So it will go up to 3 value. Okay. Let me run this. Okay. Now, if you can see, I am still, just to keep it simple, it is more like, sorry, I'll just put it 3 only. That's okay. Now here, if you can see, it is more like an iteration. I basically stands for index. I am interested to go from index number 1 to index number 3 for the index that are part of this list. That's it. Okay. So just to keep it simple, now if I come back here, you can understand multiple things. First of all, we can update the list. That means it can be changed after creation. It is mutable in nature. Supports duplicate. So again, list supports duplicate values also. Okay, it is ordered. That means you can call it with the help of an index. Okay, that means it maintains the sequence of element. These are being indicated by square braces. Okay, this can be of mixed data type, but when you want to sort, the data type should be homogeneous. Okay, yeah, let me just take you through basic function things. Okay, so the first thing about function is, what is a function? So basically, if I want to perform tasks, okay, or you can say repetitive task, okay, then we can go ahead and make use of something called as function. Okay, more of a repetitive task that we want to go ahead and call at any point of time in our program, okay, so that it gets executed. That is what we basically term it as function. So it can do multiple tasks together just by calling one block of code with the help of a function, right? Okay, so let us just look into what is function, class, objects in Python, and let me just take you through this. So when we say function, It is a block of code that performs a specific task. Just to show you, this is how you define a function in Python. So you write def. This is a keyword to write any function. You can pass a parameter if you want. Then you will have a code block, and then you will return this output that you're going to get from this function. Just to give you an example, if I say def, here I am specifying a function greet, and I am passing the parameter as the name. And then I'm writing here, the purpose of function is just to greet the person. So if I say greet and specify the name, it is expecting one parameter, right? So if I say ls, it will return the response as hello ls. This is also a function. Function can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, print statement, while loop, for loop, everything can be part of a function, right? I hope that makes sense. So here, if I specify ls, it will just go ahead and print hello ls. This is also a task. Okay. So that means what is getting out of this when we are running this, we are getting, see, either we return the result or we return the print statement. Basically, we are returning something. Okay. Now, just to show you this aspect, let me just take you through this lab, which is this one. Now, let me just show you this aspect. I'm writing a function. What is happening in this function? Just see, I'm saying def, and then I'm defining my function. If you want to pass parameter, you can pass. Right now, I'm not interested to pass any parameter. I'm just interested to print a statement. But I want to print this statement whenever I want to print. Okay. Whenever my mode feels like. I do not want to write this over and over again. So what I'm doing is, first I'm defining a function within which, what is the function block? How do you write? First you write def, then you give the function name. If you want, you pass a parameter. 99% of the time you will pass the parameter, but right now I'm not passing because I'm just defining. Then you take an indentation. That means you take an indentation, spaces, and then you do whatever you want to go ahead and do. Right now I'm saying this is my first function. Let me just run this. Now, the moment I want to run this line over and over again at any point of time, run this line or whatever is there in this function, I need to call this function just by without any colon. So if I run this, can you see I'm getting a response? My function. Is it okay? Now, suppose I want to write a function to multiply two numbers. Now, here you can see, if I want to multiply two number, I'm giving any name, multiply. What do I want to do? Number one, number two. Is it okay? Now, here I am saying result is equal to number one into number two. Now, whenever you have any parameter, you need to return the result that will be done by this function. So this function is doing a task. What is the task that this function is doing, guys? So if it is multiplying, it needs to return the result. Here, why was the result not read? Because there was no parameter. But if you are doing some task, you need to return that task result. So you return the task result. So right now I've just defined. Okay, now comes my thing. Okay, so now if I scroll down, now I am specifying something here. Just look into this. I am specifying number one is equal to 12, number two is equal to 12. Then I am saying result is equal to multiply number one, comma number two. So here you can see, to be very frank, we are calling this function. Can you see? We are just calling this function. Okay, and we are storing it in the variable, to be very frank. We are calling the function multiply, wherein it already knows, this function knows what it needs to do, because this multiply has a task to perform. What is the task? The task is number one into number two. So it will, if you type this two value together, because these are the two things, it automatically knows what it needs to go ahead and do, and it will store it in the variable. Okay, once it stores it in the variable, then you can go ahead and call it. So here you can see 12 into 12 is 144. Now, if I would have done here something called as minus, I would like to know what would have been the answer. No, wonderful. It does not matter what if I type it as a string. Okay, if I would have done a division, then it would have been 1. Okay, simple. Right? Now, this is static input. Static input means a input that is there already in the program, but generally these functions expect dynamic input. Now, if I expect a dynamic input, then I am going to use input. What will be the input type? I can specify, and here I am saying enter the first number, enter the second number. This is num1, num2, and then I am saying result. So let me just run this piece of code and see what it is asking. Enter the first number, let me put 23. Enter the second number, let me put 10. And then we know what it is going to do. 23 minus, right now, because we have put minus. Sorry, division. 23 by 10 will be how much? 2.3. Is it okay? Just forgive me because I have mentioned here this way. It's not multiplication, guys. It's a division. Let me just change it because I have changed it, right? Can you see? First number 23, second number 10. The output is 230. Okay. Now comes very important thing, concept of local and global variable. Now suppose anything that is there within the function is called as local variable. Anything that is there outside the function is called as global variable. Okay. Now function, just to show you, I am defining one function, my function. Under this I am saying variable 1 is equal to 10. So I've just written defined inside the function. Then I'm saying print. What I'm saying print variable inside my function. What is the value? 10. Variable 2 inside my function. Do I have anything inside my function? Not there, right? Now let me just run this. And now if I run this, you can see that the answer will always, though I have not defined, have I defined variable 2 inside the function? No. But whatever is there in global will automatically be, can also be printed within the function. Is it okay? Whatever is there inside. Okay, I'll just copy this. Okay, I'll just copy this. Fine. And I'm just helping you understand whatever is there inside will be printed. Whatever is there outside, this is outside. The function has already completed here. Okay, completed. If I print a global variable, I can take it anywhere. Okay. Let me just take it from here. Okay, this is outside. Let me just put it outside somewhere. Okay, this is it. Sorry. So this is done. Now just to show you, yeah, let me just put it this way. Now what I'm saying, variable inside my function is 10. It should be printed whenever I call the function. But when I, though it is, now let me just call this function. Let me just copy this. Okay, I'll first run this. This is done. Now if I call this function, it should only print which value? 10. But no, it will also print value of variable 2 because it is outside, right? But still it is has the capability to print is inside the function. Is it okay? Can you see? If I put it 200, let me show you. So inside, what do we have? Only variable 1. I am asking what is the value of variable 2 inside the function, though it is outside, but even in the inside loop, it will work. Okay? Because any global variable is also part of the local variable, local system. Is it okay? See, there are two code. This is one code, okay? And this is another definition. Is it okay? This is a definition. All fine? You define it afterwards. Before, it doesn't really matter right now. But I'm saying when you call a function, see, when I call a function, this function is printing two lines. Yes or no? The first line getting the value is absolutely fine because it is defined here, right? The second value is also getting the value from the global system. Can you see? Is it okay now? So this is called as the difference of local and global variable. Let me just change the value to 20.00. Run and see the result. Can you see? Now here you can see variable outside my function. Now let me just try this. This is outside. Can you see? Okay, I'm printing something outside. See, this is not there only. It is saying it is not defined. Can you see? Now if I say variable 2, will it work or not? It will work. Did I make some error? Variable 1. I'm just writing 1 second. Yeah, it will work. It will work 100%. I was not able to hit it. Can you see? This statement is working outside also. Yes or no? Because this is a global thing. I hope it is making sense now. Variable 2 is a global variable. Yes or no? It is accessible throughout the page. But variable 1 is accessible only inside the function. So it is called as a local variable. Now if I say var1 here, it will print. What will be the value that it will print? 20. Can you see? Outside it will print 20. Is it okay? Local will supersede the value within the function and outside global will supersede. Is it okay? All okay, guys? Just wanted to make it simple. Okay. Now let us just look into this is what I wanted to touch upon about functions and argument. I think this is good enough. Control flow. Okay. Basically, control flow, when we say that, means we want to go ahead and make use of something called as for loop. Okay. Or you can say something called as if else loop. Okay. Or we want to go ahead and make use of while loop. Okay. So just to keep it simple, if you look into this three types of flow, which is going to go ahead and do automation for you to an extent wherein you can ask it to stop at a particular value, then you can make use of control flow. Once we are done with control flow, we can also look into something called as function. But first, let us start with the control flow. So within the control flow, I did say that we have if else, then we have for, we have while, and there is also something called as if else elif. Okay, so we can look into this aspect also. Fine. Just to show you, I did say that we will look into if else statement. Just to show you, suppose I want to go ahead and just to show you, suppose if I want to go ahead and calculate salary. Okay, so suppose I am defining salary as 6,000, and then I am saying I have got the salary. Okay, I have given it to the accounts department to go ahead and calculate the salary. Okay, okay, or suppose I have got a machine learning algorithm. Okay, which is going to go ahead and look into some of the inputs from the customer. So suppose there is a form that we have asked the customer to fill. Okay, form to fill by customer. And in that, the customer has filled multiple information. Okay, and he is not ready to go ahead and disclose his salary. Just to give an example, just I'm making you assume that maybe this is the case. Okay, so suppose the customer is saying, uh, or rather than salary, you can say that it is salary. So suppose I want to go ahead and estimate the salary of a person. So I can go ahead and specify what is the type of job. Okay. Okay. Or and then we can say where is the job location. Okay. And what is the age? Suppose just give me an example, hypothetical example. So suppose I have this three value. Based on this, I also already have some historic data, type of job, location, age for each. Suppose 100 individuals, I have got this kind of information. Okay. Suppose I have got 100 individuals for which I have got this kind of information. And now I'm assuming, okay, just try to understand what I'm saying. So suppose the customer is not ready to go ahead and take a loan also, suppose. Okay. So suppose I have got this information based on which what I have done is I have trained a model, okay, which can do a prediction for me. So I've trained a model to do prediction for me. Okay. Suppose this is the model that I have trained and now it can go ahead and do the prediction. Now this model is expecting some input. And what are the input is it is expecting me to go ahead and specify the type of job, location, and age. And now this model has the capability to be able to go ahead and predict the salary. Just give an example. So suppose I have got some data based on which I am able to go ahead and predict the salary. Okay. Now based on the salary, if the salary value is greater than 5,000, I want to go ahead and ask him for loan rather than approve. Suppose I want to ask him for loan. Okay, since I have making use of a you can say a model which is going to go ahead and generate the salary for a person who has not specified the salary. He is not ready to disclose the salary, but he has specified this three value based on which I have already trained a model which can do the future prediction for. So now if the salary is greater than 5,000, I would like to invest time and ask him for loan by providing him some XYZ benefits. And if the salary is less than like if the statement is false, that means the salary is less than 5. I would not like to ask and waste my time. I will not ask. Okay. Now this is where we can go ahead and make use of if else loop. This is what we call as if and else. If the salary is greater than 5,000, it is going to be taken as true. If the salary is not greater than 5,000, it will be taken as false. Okay, so just to show you, just assume this. If salary is greater than 5,000, approved, else reject. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Just to show you this example, the best way to show you this is, let me just take you through the control statement. Okay, now the same thing I've written here. Salary. First, I am defining salary. Then I'm saying if salary greater than 5,000 approved, else reject. So what is going to happen in our case? It should be approved, right? So just to keep it simple, we will have a good use case also that we are going to go ahead and check. Now I want to ask you, what will be the result here if salary is less than 5,000? What is the case in our scenario? So this will be rejected. This is not even required. Now if I say if the salary is greater than equal to, now approved. Now we'll look into the same case with if elif statement. Now, how will this work? Just look into this. Let me just zoom out a little bit. I've got a score of 85. Now, if what I'm trying to put here is, if the score is greater than, and always remember, I did not specify the syntax. For if else statement, you will always see that we will have a colon at the end. Okay. And indentation is very, very, very important in Python. Okay. So the more you practice, the better it will be for you to go ahead and understand indentation. Okay. So now if you see here, okay, check the score and assign a grade. My score is 85. Now what I'm saying, if score is greater than 90, grade A, elif means else, elif means if this is not correct, then 80, and if this is not correct, sorry, if 80 is not the correct condition, then B, sorry, if 80 is the correct condition B, if greater than 70 is the correct condition C, if greater than 60 is the correct condition D, if the person is not having any one of these marks, then put the grade as F. Now let me just put as 59.9. Now tell me what will be the grade? F. Okay. Just to keep it simple, this is what we have got. So now you can even automate this. Okay. How can we automate? Just to show you, I'll just go ahead and give you an example of simple banking system. I've just created this using you can say a GPT, but this is pretty good. Okay. So now suppose I have a balance of 1,000. This is my initial bank account. Now, after this, I'm going ahead and doing some print statement. What am I printing? Welcome to HDFC Bank. And suppose this is my new line where I want to have some space. Okay, so I'm printing a blank line. Then I'm saying choose an option. Then I'm printing 1 for deposit, 2 for withdraw, 3 for check balance, and 4th for exit. Then I'm again printing a print line. And then again, I am printing a blank line and a blank line. So let me just remove everything from here. First of all, let me just remove this to make it easy. Okay, now let me just run this. So this is what we have printed right now. Okay, now apart from this, let me just put it here. So this is what we have printed. Just wanted to show you what we have printed. This is what we have printed. Okay, and here you can see a blank line because we have specified a space. You remember a white space. Okay, as a blank line. Okay, now this is what we have got. Now after this, let me put everything again for your understanding. Now just look into this, what I am saying. Now, earlier we were making use of if-else statement. Now, apart from if-else statement, I am also making use of while statement. Now, what do we mean by while statement? Let me just take you through this. Now, what is the purpose of while statement? Okay. Now, what is the purpose of while statement? In the while, you can specify the condition. Okay. And then you can go ahead and run the same thing. So just to keep it simple, here I am making use of while, and if you see while the condition is true, then we can go ahead and write the statement. Just to give an example, I am saying in I is equal to 0. There is a variable I, and I am saying until I is less than 10, I want to print hello. Okay. I want to print hello. And I am saying I will increase every time by 2. I will increase every time by 2. This base I plus equal to 2 basically means I is equal to, I'll just put it this way, I is equal to I plus 2. Now just to keep it simple, now tell me what is the first value of I, guys? 0. So the first value will be 0. So what is basically going to happen? First time it will print hello. Okay. Then it will go, see, 0 is less than 10. Yes. So it will print hello for the first time. So this got printed. Now, once this got printed, then I will change from add the value of 0 and 2. So I will now change from 0, it will change to which value? 2. Now, is I less than 10? Yes. 2 is less than 10. Again, it will print hello. Next value will be 4. Next value will be 6. And next value will be 8. So here you can see this is for 0. Then this is for I2, 4, 6, 8. Now here what have we specified? If I is less than 10, the next value will be 10. Is it less than 10? No. So if it is not less than 10, then it will come out of the loop. Is it okay? If we would have written here I is less than equal to 10, then it would have printed hello for the sixth time also. Is it okay? So this is where we can make use of while loop. Okay. This is the condition and the statement. What is the condition? This is the condition. Okay. Now just to show you, I have combined while and elif together. So what I'm saying, while true, it's not like you cannot define anything like a boolean. So what I'm saying, while true, I am asking the user to enter the choice. What I'm asking user to enter the choice. How do we define that? In Python, if you want to allow user to type the information, then you need to make use of a command called as input. When you give the command as an input, okay, then the user can also go ahead and type the input. So what I'm saying, the input that the user is going to type should be of which type? The input that the user is going to type should be of which type? Integer. Now, what is basically going to happen? While true, what is going to be true? Okay. So option, while the option is true, what is the option? I am saying if the user enters the value, right now I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the user enters the value 1, go ahead and do some task. If the user enters the value 2, go ahead and do some task. Else go ahead and here you can see, go ahead and do the task. Let me just do it right now. I have just run this program. What it is asking, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see, guys? Now, what is going to happen when I go ahead and do 1? We will just go ahead and type it here. So let me just type here 1. When I'm typing 1, let me hit enter. Now, the moment I type 1 and enter, see what it is asking. Can anyone read? It is asking enter the amount to deposit. Why is it asking? Because here we have specified. Can you see? I want to allow user to enter the amount that he wants to deposit into his bank. Is it fine? And this value can be entered in which format? It can be integer, it can be double because it is a float. Now what I am doing, the moment you enter the amount, I am saying please increase the balance amount. So what do we have as a balance amount? You remember? Balance is equal to 1000. So now what we are saying, please change the balance to whatever the person has deposited. Is it okay? What do you mean by this equal to? I told this equal to basically means balance is equal to balance plus. Now suppose if the balance was 1000 and if you deposited minus 1000, suppose I am allowing to deposit minus 1000, giving an example, then the value will be 0. Okay. And generally it should not allow, but just suppose if you enter plus 1000, then the value will be 2000. Okay. Now let us just come here. Let us just put a value. First, we will check what is the balance 1000. Let me just put a value, enter amount, done. Now here you can see deposited how much? 1000. New balance is equal to 2000 because this is what I have printed. Can you see? What are we saying? Deposited and what is the new balance? Is it okay? This is a dynamic value. Yes or no? So whenever you want to print a dynamic value, you can make use of something called as F is basically format. So just to show you, this is a print statement. Within the print statement, if you want to enter any dynamic value, okay, then you need to make use of curly braces and then you need to also specify F. Okay. Everything remains same. This is actually a print statement. Within the print, you are asking the value to be updated dynamically. Okay. Now let us just try the second option. If I say 2, the second one was for withdraw. The second one was for withdraw. Now here, if you can see, now amount withdrawn. Again, I am saying enter the amount. Now if I am saying if the amount withdraw is greater than balance, then say insufficient fund, right? Else balance should be equal to balance minus withdraw amount, right? Now what was my amount? Just look into the amount 2000. So if I ask for 3000, It will say insufficient balance. Can you see? Cannot withdraw. Now I can again go to second. Now let me just withdraw 1000. Now you can see I've got a new balance. I've just kept it pretty simple for you to understand that now we are using if, elif, for, while, everything together, to be very frank. Not for, but apart from that, we are using almost everything. Okay. Now similarly, if I would have gone for the third option, I would have got the current balance. Okay. Okay. So just to show you, if I go for third option, okay, it is just showing my current balance. If I go for fourth option, it will go ahead and say me thank you. Done. Okay. Now, this is just to help you understand that we can have a use case of how to go ahead and work with if, elif, and while statements. Okay. Now, just to show you, this is pretty good. Now, if I take you here, 1 second. Okay. Now, let me just help you understand. This is what I was trying to help you understand, if you remember. So here you can see I'll be able to print whatever I want to print. I'm printing I. If I want to print hello, I can print hello also. Okay, fine. So now you can see hello. Now, if apart from that, if I make use of this F, if you remember, we had something called as F. So we can specify F and we can have the dynamic value also. So we can use F, if you remember. So rather than this, we can just use F, double quote, 1 second, double quote. Let me just remove this. If you remember, I've just put F now. Now let me just say hello. And then if I want to go ahead and make use of something called as this. Okay. And now let me just print. Sorry, I think I just made an error. I think I needed to. This should be fine. Let me just run. Yeah. Now can you see? Dynamically printing the values. Okay. So we can have a string plus integer together printed. I hope that makes sense now. What is F? Little string if you want to add to a number, we can do that. Now, if I would have put here greater than equal to, not, yeah. If I say, sorry, if I say plus, then it will keep on doing, because I will always be, until and unless it is less than 10, then all it will do, sorry. Okay, now if I run, again, you can see I've got 10. That's okay. Now, similar to this, if I have a Boolean, just to show you, I have variable 1 is equal to true. And here I am saying while true, print I. And then keep on adding I to two values. So earlier, while true basically means while variable 1 is equal to true, print I. And then here I am saying I is equal to I plus 2. If I is greater than equal to 10, then go ahead and change the value of variable from true to false. So just to keep it simple, it will go ahead and check the value while the statement is true. Which statement? This condition is true. It will keep on executing. So till when is this condition true? First, it will go ahead and print what? I is equal to 0. Next, it is not going to go to false until and unless this iteration is happening, this iteration. It will keep on checking this value. Next value will be 2, 4, 6, 8, equal to 10 also, right? 10. So now just to keep it simple, sorry, just to keep it simple, until and unless this statement is okay, it will keep on doing. The moment this statement, if I is going to exceed the value of 10, then it will stop. So equal to also 2, 4, 6, 8. So the moment it becomes equal to, then the value will change to false and then the while statement will stop. Really sorry. That's right. Okay. And if you want to print something with literals like strings, you can even go ahead and do that. Okay. That's possible. Okay. Now, one more important thing about difference in using conditional statement with while and without while. Okay. So now just to help you understand, the key difference is, see, you have something called as if, else, elif, and while if you use with if, else, elif. Okay. Now the point is, this is really important. Okay. It stops after one execution of if, else, elif. And here it will keep on running while the condition is not set to false. Making sense what I'm saying? So while the condition is true, it will keep on executing in the case which was there in ours. the same kind of thing will happen. Just to show you, I'll show you this example. I again got something. Just look into this. While true, if you look into this, and if I show you the other example of HDFC Bank, let me just show. I would like to get an information here. If you see here also, I am saying while true. Okay, I am specifying here while true. Take the input and let me just show you this example. So I am just specifying here while true, print this. This is the choice. Let us just run this and see what we are trying to go ahead and. Okay, so first let me take the choice of deposit. Okay, now let me enter the amount of deposit. Let us just check the condition. How much deposit have you specified? 1,000. Okay, now let me just run this. And here you can see I have got the information completed and it is still again starting from zero. Okay, so now if I go ahead and give any other invalid option, suppose if I say 6, now it will say invalid option. It will keep on running. Okay, if I say 3, it will keep on running. Okay, until and unless this condition will not be set to false. Okay, so if you can see, it will keep on running until and unless this condition is false. Until if I hit 4, if you remember, let me just put 4 here, and now you can see goodbye. This is what I'm getting. Okay, so it will only stop when the condition is false. Okay, or you can just go ahead and look into this example also. This can be really helpful.
Alright, so now you have learned how to work with tuples, dictionaries, lists, functions, and control flow. Now, if you found this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe for more tutorials. Let us know in the comment section if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos.